Hell yeah. Give it up for yourselves, too. Coming out to watch some comedy. You guys are cool. Yeah, man, like Chris was saying, my name is Steve Widzinski, and I recently learned I am one of the only 2 people in America with that name. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah? I thought so, and then I found out the other guy is the senior president of sales at Kia Motors. Yeah, it kind of sucks finding out that you're the very bottom of the depth chart, right? Like, there's a picture of this guy. He's at the NBA All-Star game handing one of those giant checks to LeBron James. I am 33 years old. I have never handed a regular size check to anybody. Yeah, I've been doing comedy for like a little over a year now, and I got started because my therapist said that stand-up comedy would be a great way to treat my OCD. What a fucking idiot. I took this guy's advice and I signed up for a comedy class. It was actually pretty cool. I learned a lot of good stuff in there. I learned that stand-up comedy attracts so many recent divorcees. Dude, they are stoked to get up here and talk about their ex-spouse to a captive audience. Like, you guys have probably heard over 50% of marriage ends in divorce. You probably haven't heard over 50% of divorce ends in stand-up comedy. I got a friend my age. He just got his 3rd divorce. He's a really good guy. I think 3 is the exact worst number of divorces you can have, right? Like 1 divorce is fine, 2 divorce, whatever. 3 divorce, pretty brutal. 4 divorces, pretty fucking awesome. You know, it kind of comes full circle if you do it enough. Whatever you do, you don't want to stop after 3. You got to buy the dip, right? Like, a guy with 3 divorces is toxic. Guy with 4 divorces, that's just a rascal. I think my friend, though, he's like the perfect mascot for millennial entitlement, because this dude has already left 3 different marriages, and he has yet to leave his parents' cell phone plan. I say that like I'm not also on my parents' cell phone plan. Yeah, comedy's going really well. Comedy's humbling, man. Like the other day, I called one of my friends and I was bragging because I got booked on this show that I was super excited about. She goes, "That's so awesome. That's so cool. By the way, I've been meaning to tell you, I recently got promoted to partner at my law firm." It's like, all right, your thing is a little better than my thing. Didn't realize we were going to compare things. I assume no one at your thing has ever tried to pay you in beer. It really is crazy, though. Like, I'm so proud of my friend. This law firm has existed for over 100 years, and she is the only woman to ever make partner. Yeah, and I called her to brag about a comedy show where I wasn't even the only man named Steve. I talked about being a millennial earlier. I hate that word millennials like to use, adulting, right? I see that a lot on social media, #adulting. Why do we only use that to describe shit that a 12-year-old could do, right? Like, air frying zucchini fritters does not make you an adult. That just makes you a white person. Real adulting is like selling your plasma. Because if you don't, you will go to jail for unpaid child support. I mentioned I have OCD. That means I have a lot of weird obsessions. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about those progressive commercials. We can't stop you from becoming your parents. Those are fun, right? You guys like those? Yeah, I like them, but I want them to go darker with those, right? I feel like there's more meat left on the bone. Like, the most embarrassing thing your dad can do is not tell a corny joke. The most embarrassing thing your dad can do is get on Facebook and type a status like, "Why isn't there a straight Pride Month?" We can't stop you from becoming your parents. Regressive insurance. I have an uncle that likes to get kind of wild on Facebook. The other day he said on Facebook, he posted, "It's never been harder than right now to be a white man in America." Yeah. Kind of beautiful though, the idea that he would post that on an iPhone. Like, dude, you have a handheld computer with unlimited boobs. Your life is pretty easy. Half the founding fathers had syphilis. My father just has a Labradoodle. That dog has its very own toothbrush. Half the founding fathers didn't have their own teeth. So yeah, I kind of refuse to believe the hardest era to be a white guy is the era of craft beer, Grubhub, and vape pens. Like, my grandpa was a coal miner. He died from something called black lung. I work from home. And I'm probably going to die from something called popcorn lung. A little more about my family. I have an Asian sister. I like to let that linger for a second. It's a good way to feel out the room, right? Because like I'll go to Ann Arbor and I'll say I have an Asian sister, and like, dude, you can feel them getting nervous. They are so scared that I'm about to say something racist. Then I go to Northern Michigan and I say I have an Asian sister, and you can feel that crowd praying that I'm about to say something racist. So I really love my sister a lot. She's great. She's adopted from South Korea, but like, in hindsight, I find the adoption timeline sort of offensive, because I was the oldest child and I got held back in kindergarten. Almost immediately after that, my parents decided they wanted their second child to be a girl from South Korea. Like, yeah, we want another one. Better be as genetically different as possible. There's a plot twist. My sister also failed kindergarten. Maybe take some fucking accountability, Mom and Dad. Right? Instead, they just tried to custom order a smart Asian kid. A little more about my childhood. I used to be really into vandalism. Very dark chapter in my life. We have any vandals in the crowd? Any of you guys ever do vandalism? Yeah? What was your favorite thing to vandalize? All right, I guess I'm the only cool person here. My favorite thing to vandalize was Wikipedia. Yeah, these days Wikipedia is pretty locked down, but that shit used to be the Wild West. And I was a goddamn gunslinger. My favorite page to mess with was always Mark Wahlberg. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mark Wahlberg, but he's lived a pretty eventful life. He has been convicted of 4 different hate crimes. Yeah, he has 1 hate crime for every protagonist in the hit film, 4 Brothers. And just to be clear for a second, hate crimes do not work like divorce. It doesn't become cool after 4, right? There's no magic number on those. But yeah, man, there's this sentence on his Wikipedia where it says, later in life, Wahlberg attributed these crimes to being high on PCP. I added 1 single word to that sentence. Guys, I swear to God, it stayed there for 6 months. I changed it to say, later in life, Wahlberg proudly attributed these crimes to being high on PCP. I did that 16 years ago in high school study hall. I have been chasing that high for 16 years. So now I do PCP. So I guess Trump's like the president or something. I don't know, I just checked my phone. But It's been a while since someone tried to kill that guy. I definitely don't want anyone to kill him, but I think I kind of want him to keep trying. Not for political reasons. I just think it'd be funny if every time the assassin keeps getting a little bit shittier and a little bit shittier. Like by the end, it's just a 12-year-old bum rushing him with nunchucks. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here in a minute, but real quick before I do, I want to brag because I recently became a homeowner. Woo! Yeah, right? That's pretty cool, I think. Yeah, people say it's impossible for millennials to afford a house in this economy. It's not. I figured out the secret, and I want you guys to know the secret to millennial home ownership. Buy a super shitty house. And you guys have been a lot of fun. Give it up for your host, Christopher, everybody.